Hey friends, over 60% of you are listening to me right now on an Apple product. iPhone, iPad, iTunes. I need your help. The truth is, Apple will make this podcast more discoverable to new listeners the more reviews it has. So I'm here asking you to take a moment and leave a review. If you've gained any value from this podcast, the greatest thing you can do for it, besides spreading the word and telling friends, is leaving a review. It's real simple. If you're on your phone, head over to my podcast page within the Apple Podcast app and leave a review. Or if you're on a computer, you can head over to my podcast page within the iTunes app. That's it. That's all I ask. And if you have other podcasts that you love, do them a favor and do the same for them. It'll make their day. Now let's get this podcast started already. Welcome to the Gary Cantrell Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether it's your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, 30th, 40th time listening. It doesn't really matter. I love you all of you the same. I do appreciate all of your support. So thank you so very much for tuning in. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's left reviews on iTunes for this podcast. Thank you so much. It really helps. And believe it or not, you actually do not have to have an iPhone or an iPad to do this. If you're somebody, even if you have an Android, but maybe you have iTunes on your computer, you can still leave a review. And so if that's something you've been wanting to do, but you've just been limited because you felt like you can't, being an Android person, that is incorrect. If you have iTunes on a computer somewhere, you can still do it. And if you would, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, want to let you guys know before we get started, I want to welcome all of the brand new listeners from iHeartRadio. We are now live on iHeartRadio. I've waited a couple of weeks, and it's finally happening. So this podcast, the podcast you are listening to right now, can be heard on iHeartRadio as well as Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, all the major podcast providers that you can think of. We're on it. So thank you guys so much for supporting this program. I appreciate it so much. And with that being said, it's time now to get to the meat of the program. And I'll be doing some other updates after I get through with the main content of the show. So if you're somebody that's just here for the weight loss stuff, I'm going to get to that right now. And then if you're somebody who kind of likes a little bit of everything I do, you're going to want to stick around because I've got some interesting tidbits on a giveaway I'm doing. But that's going to come after the meat of the show, as we'll call it. And with that being said, let's talk about it, guys, because in the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of interviews, so I haven't really had much of a chance to do something in the way of updates on this podcast, like personal updates. I mean, I've kind of snuck in some stuff here and there, but with the podcast being recorded, ahead of time and things of that nature, some of this information is weeks old. So I want to give you the absolute bottom line update as of the beginning of April, which is when this podcast drops. It's when I'm recording it. And that is, as you guys know, I have lost 100 pounds. I talked about this on a previous podcast. I've talked about this with guests on a podcast. But I have lost the 100 pounds. And with losing 100 pounds, my strategy is shifting. Because, first of all, when I started this journey at nearly 400 pounds, I wanted to lose the first 100. Now, I want to lose 187 total. I want to get to 185. That is still ultimately the end goal. But at the same time, I don't want to put a precise number because I don't want to let the number define me. I talk so often about not letting the scale define you, not letting that number on the scale define you. And so, as I've said from the very beginning, if you followed me from the very beginning of this journey, you know that I have always said that this is, I'm figuring it out on the fly. And as they say in wrestling, cards subject to change. So things are changing. What is not changing is my drive and my determination. My 5-day-a-week workout schedule is not changing. I'm not stopping this journey. It's not, hey, I lost 100 pounds. Time to go back to shoveling pizza rolls down my throat 5 days a week, 7 days a week, what have you. It's just my strategy. How I go about the journey is changing. What I wanted to do, my goal, and again, this is all kind of a custom. Everything I've done is a custom type plan to me. So I'm doing stuff. I'm seeing what works, what doesn't work, and adjusting strategy as need be. So with that being said, I wanted to drop 100 pounds, and from there, I wanted to start toning up my body. As you know, losing hundreds of pounds, 100 pounds, hundreds of pounds, you're going to be plagued with some loose skin. It happens to, I believe, just about everybody. I could be wrong, and maybe some people wear it better than others. And I'm not one who's into getting a surgery, and if you are, I'm not saying this is anything against you. It's just not my personal choice. I don't want to do that. I'm kind of terrified, actually. So what I'm trying to do, my goal is, I want to really get into working the weights to tone up and build muscle and tone up this skin as best as I can. I really want to give it the best possible chance that I can, all the while still doing cardio. But I want to tone it up now while my frame is still kind of big, because I can tell that in the first 100 I've lost, man, this skin is really sagging, and it ain't pretty. So now's the time to tone it up. Originally, you may have heard me on a podcast or two talking about hitting around 250 or 260 and then going to that strategy. But I think now, just looking at my body, the way it feels, I think now is the time to capitalize on that and to begin to start toning up. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So previously, I used to go into the gym for like an hour and do all cardio. And so I'm dialing that back to a certain degree. I'm still going to do a half an hour of cardio, but now I'm going to spend the rest of my time in the gym working on some type of weight. So I might on a day work abs, another day work my arms, and days where I work my legs. And Sunday was kind of like a catch-all where I used to kind of just put the whole day towards all weight machines. And I think that may still remain the same. I may still use that as kind of my catch-all where I'm working a little bit of everything. But this whole only cardio 4 times a week business is changing. And that goes hand in hand with my weighing in, because here's the fact of the matter. When you are, building muscle and lifting weights, you're going to gain. It's going to happen. So I'm aware of this. And I mean, obviously, you do your cardio, you're still going to lose as well. It's not like, oh, I'm building muscle and I'm going to gain 40 or 50 pounds. Like, that's not what I mean when I say you're going to gain. What I mean by that is, if you're somebody like me who weighs in week to week, you're not going to get those results that you may be looking for. And I'm always a set it and forget it kind of guy. But it's still, there are times where I still look at the scale and it still irks me. I'm human just like everybody else. I'm no different, and I'm not better than anybody else because I say, oh, the hell with the scale, don't worry about it. I'm just like you guys. But there is this numbers culture out there where there are people that live and die by the number. I still have people in my everyday life that ask me, hey, what'd you weigh in this week? But that's because I set that precedence. There we go, Gary. Now we're speaking English. I set that precedence, and that's why people ask me. So I'm changing that now. There will be no more every week, hey, Gary, what'd you weigh in? Because I have not weighed myself in like 3 weeks. And this is done deliberately because I, number one, am going to fully live up to what I go on my podcast and on my YouTube and talk to all you guys about, like, don't let the number get you down. It goes up, down, it stays the same. I'm I'm going to live up to that, like, fully. There was a YouTube video where I threw the scale across the room. It actually broke, and I had to go buy a new one. I wish I would have just left the damn thing at the store because I really don't need it. That's the reality of the situation. Well, I mean, I do, but the frequency in which I weigh in is drastically changing, folks. And that's just the way it's going to be. You know, maybe once a month, maybe once every other month as I see fit, basically just peeking to make sure I didn't jump up 40 pounds, you know. But I'm not going to, the week to week and living and dying by the scale, that stuff ends. It's over. I'm not doing that anymore. Okay? I want to focus on going into the gym, working on the, still doing the treadmill because I got a 5K coming up. I need to be ready for that. But also working on the weights and not worrying about, well, damn, if I don't go a full hour on the treadmill, I'm not going to burn X amount of calories. And if I don't burn X amount of calories, I'm not going to get that big number that I want at the end of the week. It's all a mental thing. At the end of the day, that's what's going on here. And I'm identifying the problem because I do have a problem, and I'm going to be open and honest with you guys about it. But right now, to me, identifying the problem and correcting course right now. It's already in action, but I'm now sharing it because I haven't had a chance to share it because I've had guests on every week, which I love having guests on every week. But so anyway, that's it's neither here nor there. So I had a problem. As you guys know, I weighed in every Sunday, and I would go report online. Here's my weigh-in. Here's what I weighed, et cetera, et cetera. And what you guys don't know is what gets me to that number, what gets me to that weight. And the simple thing is by the time Friday would roll around, I would be in a position where the amount of food I ate was drastically taken down. Like I would dial it back several notches. My wife and I couldn't go out and enjoy a nice dinner. If I wanted to take her out, because as you guys know, around once a week I have, just a nice kind of meal, cheat day kind of thing. So the point is, if I want to take her out for a nice dinner, it's like, oh, well, we got to worry about what I got to eat because I don't want to eat too much. I don't want to add, any kind of bloat or, what have you. Because I knew I had to weigh in, and I knew I had to, I was almost treating it like I was and this is going to sound super silly because I'm the farthest thing from it, but I was almost treating it like I'm a UFC fighter in the sense of I got to make weight or else I can't fight. And I can't even believe I'm admitting this now, and I know that's odd to say because I've been so open with you guys about everything, but I was really nervous to share this because I was like, what are people going to think? And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter what people think of you. You just got to do what you feel is right. And I really believe that this is the right course to take. Removing the weekly weigh-ins allows me to have more freedom in the gym. Because there was a time where I knew exactly what workouts I needed to do leading up to the weigh-in to get the number I was hoping to get or get close to it. And then there was just stuff that was out of my control where if I was at a concert on a weeknight and, I still worked out, but you go to dinner late, eat late, whatever, you eat at a place that's not the best. But other than that, I usually had pretty good control. I'm like, and if you guys look back at my posts from the beginning of the year, I was going down at least a pound every week. And this is without enhancements. That's one of the other things I should clarify too, because I get people that message me about it. They're like, what kind of pre-workout are you using? What kind of supplements? And I'm like, I'm not using anything. And a lot of these people were just trying to sell me on their crap. But, I don't buy into any of this stuff. If it works for you, cool. It doesn't have a place in my plan, ultimately. When I set out and started this thing, 14, almost 15 months ago, I said I was going to do it free of everything. Could the average guy just go to the gym, cut down on some of the portions and lose weight? And the answer was yes, I proved it. It can be done. So the work continues, and I continue to do that, but I am free of any kind of pre-workout or other products, and that doesn't make me better than anybody else. There are some people that they need to use it or they feel the need to use it, and more power to you guys. Honestly, I've always said this, and I think it's relevant. we're all on a very similar journey. Like, our destination is fairly the same. We just have a different way of getting there, you know? I might like to take the highway. You might want to take the back roads. Somebody else might want to take the parkway, you know, or there's the freeway. There's different ways to get to the same destination. And I just really wanted to change things up because I felt that it was time. It was time to change the plan. And to do that, I had to alter my weekly weigh-ins because I knew that, you know, when I focused on the muscles and did less of the cardio, it'd be less intense on my body, and likely I was going to gain. And I'm here to tell you that I don't care what the number on that scale says. It doesn't matter to me. I can tell you this, I'm still making every one of my workouts. Guaranteed. I'm not, you know, I'm just no longer worrying about this scale. And I challenge all of you not to do exactly what I'm doing, but I challenge all of you to think about this and think about what it could mean for you if you just left the scale alone. Think about the mental impact on your life. Would you be happier if you weren't worried about the scale? You know, like, there's a lot of people out there that use these things, diet bets. I see these things all over the place. And it encourages people to lose weight. And I think that's great. But for me, it doesn't work for me. I've got invites out the wazoo of people wanting me to start these diet bets, to join their diet bets. And then people get disappointed if they don't lose, or they push themselves way too hard, harder than they should, just to get the result they want. And here I am just trying to challenge people to think a little bit differently. Think about, what's the hurry? Why do we treat a weight loss journey like it's a school assignment due in 2 weeks? Like, you're going to get an F if you don't complete this project in 2 weeks, this assignment. You know what I mean? Does this make sense? I hope it does. Because I see a lot of heartfelt posts of people that are just upset. They're depressed because things are not going the way they hoped they would. And I think ultimately they're just, you know, there's so much of this in a hurry to get stuff done. And I think that I really think strongly in the other direction, that this is a lifestyle. And if it's 3, 5, 10 years, we had Ken Hahn at fatboyshrink.tv on here. And he said, man, I've been on this thing for 10 years now. Bingo. And look at him now. He looks awesome. He's doing great. He's happy. So think about that. Think about that and ask yourself, what in the hell am I in a rush for? Think about that. Ask yourself why you want it now. The question you should be asking yourself is, why can't I be more patient for this? I tell people I'm overstocked on patience. And that's not a quote for a t-shirt. That's just real life. That's how I live. And that's really the big takeaway from all of this. Because there may be people that may hear this and they may think to themselves, man, yeah, he's not going to lose all that much. Probably not going to be seeing much differences in him. Or the folks that are really betting against you, they might say, well, gee, he's just going to roll back into his old self. Wrong guess. I'm here to tell you right now, if you're betting against me, you're going to lose. Better yet, let me take it one step further. If you're betting against yourself, you're really going to lose. Think about that for a moment. Let that sink in. and then really double down, triple down on what you're doing, and keep fighting. As the t-shirt that I have says, fight like hell for the life you want. You got to keep fighting. Don't let a weigh in, don't let a number on a scale define what you're doing. You watch your diet, whatever that diet may be. We all have different ones. And you commit to a workout schedule. And you will win, because it all goes back to the 4 pillars: patience, consistency, hard work, love yourself. When you got those 4 things, you cannot lose. Do you understand me, guys? I am so passionate about this. When you have the 4 pillars, you will not lose. You got this. So just think again, while you're in a hurry, slow down. Take time to think, reflect, and go do everything you got to do. You got this. This is what happens when I record my podcast in the car, because I just got this open road in front of me. I got the mic hanging on the dash. And I just start riffing. And a lot of you guys say you really enjoy it. Maybe all my podcasts from here on out need to be done in the car that aren't interviews, perhaps. I don't know. But that's really it. I mean, to give you what they call in Reddit, the too long didn't read. Basically, I lost 100 pounds. I'm switching my strategy. I'm incorporating more weights. I'm dialing back the cardio a hair. And we're going to change some stuff up. Because I want to tone up my body. And in doing this, I realize that I may gain a little bit here and there. I'm still going to lose overall in the end. But it's going to go down a lot slower. And I'm okay with that. Because I don't live and die by the scale. And it is my opinion. And I challenge you to think that you shouldn't be either. But it's okay if you do, because we all have our ways of doing our stuff. And I'm not here to judge anybody for the way they do it. There are a lot of people that come on here and say, you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm just saying, well, here's what I'm doing. Think about it. And then if you thought about it and it didn't work for you, great. If it did, cool, let's talk about it. And that's really it. That's my weight loss update. And I'll continue to keep you guys clued in on it, of course. I mean, I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. And that really goes into my next set of updates. So if you listen only for the weight loss stuff, we're done. But if you're one of my extra special buddies and you want to stick around for the rest, happy to have you. So I'm getting more immersed in YouTube. One of my top 5 things for this year was to relaunch my YouTube channel, and I launched it at the beginning of the year, and that was one thing I almost gave up on, just because they changed their strategy, and they said they were demonetizing people with less than 1,000 subscribers, and they were, if you didn't have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, you were no longer eligible to make money for what you do. And it pissed me off, I'll be honest with you guys. It really upset me that they would make such a change. It's like, what does it matter? Why does it, why do you need this to make this? It's just silly. Now, granted, as somebody like me who has only 100 followers, and I don't mean only in the sense of, oh God, it's only 100 people. I mean in the sense of, in terms of what they say is acceptable, because they want you to have 1,000 before you're monetized. With me having 100 subscribers before, I was making pennies on my videos. So I just realized that it doesn't really matter anymore. I'm just going to make content for all of you. I don't give a damn about the money. When I hit 1,000 subs, eventually, maybe in a couple of years, however long it takes, because I am overstocked on patience in the YouTube game as well, Obviously, yes, I would like to make money on my videos, but it's not the sole reason why I'm doing it. And I had to really get myself in check to realize that before, as I realized that one of my top 5 things of this year I nearly walked away from because I wasn't going to make a few pennies on a video. And I realized how stupid that was. So I'm back in, and not only am I back in, but I got a new camera, and this new camera is it's a DSLR, and it's going to shoot the best video that I've ever seen, and that as far as videos of me that you've ever seen. So I really want you guys, if YouTube is a part of your daily thing like it is for so many, and you like to get in these black hole of watching videos, I really ask that you consider adding my channel as one of those channels that you subscribe to. And it's really simple to find me. If you go on my website, Gary'sPodcast.com, there is a YouTube button. If you go onto my Instagram, in my link tree, there is a YouTube link. If you go into YouTube and type in Gary Cantrell, you're going to find me. So I really hope that you guys will consider joining me on my YouTube channel. It would mean the world to me, and I promise you guys I'm going to bring you some great content. So up until now, if you were to go on there right now, you would find the giveaway video that I just dropped. You will find more on that in a minute. You would find my latest vlogs, my first 4 vlogs. I just started doing those, and I'm not amazing at them, but I promise you I'm going to work hard to make them as good as I possibly can. And one of the reasons why I got a DSLR is because that's what most vloggers, if not all vloggers, are using, and it's not going to cut my head off. I've got a screen that flips around front so I can make sure that I'm in frame all the time. And I'm making a commitment, just like I do to this podcast on a weekly basis. I'm making a commitment to deliver great content, great quality content, that's what I wanted to say, to you guys. So whether that's vlogs or informational videos or, random, there's going to be all kinds of stuff on this channel. I'm going to start overloading it with content. So just be on the lookout for that. Also, I did mention doing weekly podcasts. I do want to apologize that I did not give you guys a podcast last week. As those of you from Instagram know, I had a death in the family. My great aunt Virginia, she will be missed. Love her to death. And I needed a week off of social media, and I also took a week from the podcast. I had an interview lined up with Daryl, Your Level Fitness, and I apologize to him that I backed out, but we're going to get him rescheduled for the podcast here in the coming weeks, and we will get that podcast done for you guys. But I want to apologize for missing a week. That's something that I have not done in months, and I really need to, I'm really going to get it back into gear where I'm not missing a week, because normally I have one teed up and ready to go every week, but this was a chance where I did not have one pre-recorded. And the timing of her death, with the podcast, it was just hard to concentrate and focus on recording a podcast to release on Wednesday. So I will get better, though, about getting these things every single week, no matter what, to you guys, getting something to you guys. That is my promise. What I did do, because I have been getting a lot of questions from people asking about older shows. So the situation is this. I've mentioned this maybe on a podcast before. If I haven't, and I said I did, I apologize. But I know some of you guys have asked on Instagram, hey, where are these old episodes you've done? And so I switched podcast providers, and this was part of the reason was to allow me to get onto streams like Spotify and iHeartRadio. I had to switch providers who gave me an opportunity to get on these platforms. And so with that being said, my old provider was cheap in the sense of it would let me, upload anything and everything unlimited all I wanted. This new provider is limited bandwidth in terms of how many podcasts I can upload a month, or how much storage space, rather, is the better term. So generally, as it goes right now, I should be able to upload a podcast every single week for you guys and then have room for really 1 to 3 old podcasts until we catch up with the old stream. So hopefully, I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that. The goal is to get all the old podcasts up by the end of the year. And in that way, the entire collection will be complete. But being that I did not have a podcast last week, it allowed me the space before the month ended to upload 3 older podcasts that previously had not been heard in a couple of months since I switched providers. And that's the ones with Jessica at Bye Bye Fluff, Tony at The Tony Ferrari, and Aloha. I think it's at Aloha's Fit Life. And these 3 podcasts, Aloha was the first Instagram interview I ever did. And then Tony and Jessica were a week apart from each other. And these were also longer ones. So the fact that I did not do a podcast last week allowed me enough space before the month reset and I got more space to upload 3 long form ones as opposed to uploading 1 to 2 shorter ones if I had a 4th one. So you guys that are new to the podcast, and we're getting new listeners all the time, especially now with iHeartRadio in the mix, and Spotify has really introduced some new listeners to the game, and I really appreciate it. So now I'm uploading these older podcasts to where you guys can catch up with everything. So I thank you guys so much for checking it out and supporting. Before I go, I got to tell you guys about my giveaway that I'm doing. And this giveaway is starting. It started yesterday, Tuesday, April the 3rd, and it's ending on Friday the 6th. Now, these podcasts are meant to be out there forever, but luckily most of you are downloading it and listening to it the day that it drops. So, number one, I appreciate your enthusiasm. That means the absolute world to me. So most of you guys are going to get this in time, but I'm doing a giveaway. And with that being said, there's a post on my Instagram right now. It says giveaway on the picture, so it's not to be confused with other posts. It's a Transformation Tuesday photo as well. And so basically, the rules are extremely simple. You got to follow me, and you got to follow at Hard Work Always Wins. You have to like and comment on this photo. You have to tag 3 of your friends in this photo to be eligible for the giveaway. Now, as far as a bonus, you can screenshot the post and post it as a post of your own in your feed and or post it in your story, but you just got to tag me to make sure that I'm seeing it. And that's going to get you bonus points. Now, if you really want to be one of the coolest people on planet Earth, I also did a giveaway video on my YouTube because this contest is going to both Instagram and YouTube. So, if you go to the giveaway video linked in my Instagram, it's on my YouTube channel. If you go and sub to my channel, like and comment on that video, you are then also eligible for bonus entries because I really want to draw attention to that YouTube channel for sure, and I think this is a great way to do it. So that is how you can enter the contest. Find the giveaway posts, subscribe, like, comment on the YouTube. Find the giveaway post, like and comment on it, and you are in. Share it on your story, share it in your feed for extra credit, bonus points, brownie points, sucking up, whatever you want to call it. I said this out and out on the description of the giveaway, and I mean this, so that's why I'm doubling down on what I said, but the more you're in my notifications, the better chance you're going to have to win. Bottom line. Because let's look at what a giveaway is, okay? A giveaway is when you want to draw attention to what you're doing. And so, obviously, I want to draw attention to my brand. I want to draw attention to my efforts. And the best way to do that is to do a giveaway, because you're going to give people stuff. You're going to reward them for checking your stuff out and spreading the word. So the more I see you on my notifications, the better chance you're going to get of winning a free shirt. So I'm going to pick 3 winners on Friday evening, April the 6th, likely after I get home from the gym. And I'm going to pick 3 winners. Each winner is going to pick 1 t-shirt from my website that they want. I'm hooking them up. And that's how we're going to do it. And if you hit up my YouTube, you get extra credit. Tell you what, if you want the super duper secret stuff, send me a DM and just put in the word giveaway. Type in the word giveaway and send it in a DM to me. And that's like double, triple, super extra bonus points, because then I know that you guys are actually listening and paying attention to what I'm saying. Gotcha. All right, let's wrap this son of a gun up. We're going to get out of here. I think the personal shows are best at around a half an hour, so I'm going to leave it to just that. Giveaway is live. Hit that up. Hit up my website, hardworkalwayswins.com. You can get a promo code, Gary's Podcast, GaryspodCast, Gary's Podcast. That is my promo code. Hit that thing up and take 10% off your order. Maybe you're like, cool, I want to enter the giveaway, but I want some merch right now. Well, I'm going to make that easy for you. Go to my website, hardworkalwayswins.com. Enter the code at checkout, garyspodcast.com, and take 10% off your order. Boom. It's done. Check that out. All right. That's all I got. I'm getting out of here right now. And we'll have more later on the next podcast. So y'all have a good day, good night, good week, good weekend, whenever you're listening to this. Thank you so much for your support as always. And I'll catch you again on the next episode.